Disney announced a bunch of different release date changes. I want to focus on the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have Captain America Brave New World being moved from May 3rd, 2024 to July 24th, 2024. We have the Thunderbolts being moved from July 24th to December 20th of 2024. We have Blade getting pushed from September 6th, 2024 back to February 14th, 2025. We have Deadpool 3, which already got pushed back 3 months, now being pushed forward to May 3rd, 2024. Fantastic Four being pushed from Valentine's Day 2025 to May 2nd, 2025. And Avengers Kang Dynasty being pushed a full year, May 2, 2025 to May 1st, 2026, an entire calendar year. What are your thoughts on these release date changes, and are you excited for Deadpool moving up?
I'm really excited for Deadpool 3, as I would assume everybody is, with the return of Hugh Jackman. I do feel that the release date moving up is a very clear sign that the movie's almost finished, but also that Disney has a lot of faith in this movie, that they're willing to push it up. And it's a really good sign because I really enjoyed both the first two Deadpool movies, and I think this is going to be a pretty good movie, or at least I'm hoping it to be as a fanboy. But if we're talking about the other MCU release date changes, I almost feel that they were going to be inevitable just because with the writer strike going on and with them trying to figure out this formula and also announcing like 100 different movies and different various projects to all come out, like it's just not going to work, especially when everything is in within this timeline and everything's got to follow certain movies. Like, oh, we got to see this movie before you see this movie, and it jumps around. So I can understand why they do this, and also because let's say a movie does really well, and there's something that the director might have added and they changed, and then they got to go reshoot the other movie so they can follow along with that one. And it's cool. It's awesome. I'll never truly understand this process because I'm not in the industry, but I'm okay with it. I'd rather Marvel do this than to just put these movies out, make a ton of money, and just slowly lose their fan base. I don't want to see that happen. And I've seen some people already start to do that. The box office returns on some of them, like Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wasn't the best, but then Guardians Galaxy Volume 3 was really good. So I guess it's really interesting to see what they do with it, especially with everything with Jonathan Majors that's come out. So that's I wonder what they're going to do about that.
Yeah, it's especially now too. We're getting some news reports of Tina Huerta, who was Namor in Black Panther Part 2. Apparently, he's had some allegations come up. It's still kind of early on, but with two huge stars that weren't big stars before Marvel, I think Kang is a little bit easier to handle because Kang can change his form anyway, and it's kind of already established that a little bit. But it would be weird 3-4 years from now if we look back at Ant-Man, Quantumania, and I guess the Cosby effect kind of comes in and we start learning things that we really don't want to know. I hope there really wasn't something there. We got to let the legal process kind of sort itself out. I think a little bit there too. What are your thoughts on Avatar getting pushed back? As far as 8 years from now, Avatar 5 got pushed back to 2031. Are you surprised? Are you worried? Are you? Do you even care at this point? I mean, what are your thoughts on the Avatar sequels also being pushed back?
As for the viewers, I have been a very big supporter of this Avatar franchise, and I was super excited that the second one came out and did so well as it did, and I thought it was a really good movie. I've always wanted these sequels to actually happen, and I think with the second one actually being made, I think it'll be possible, but it's not the best when you have to keep pushing these movies. But to be honest with you, if James Cameron wanted these movies pushed, then I'm okay with it because he has proven time and time again that he can do it and he's up to the task. But if this is more like Disney being involved with the moves, I'm not so sure with it. But to go to your point about going to 2031, that's kind of crazy to think about. I think that's I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this one of the first official 2030 movie that is like on the date so far? Like that's crazy. Like I would love to see this actually work out and to be good and to be this massive success. Like I'm really rooting for James Cameron Avatar, but man, like if you keep pushing it, you're like people are getting old.
If you do the thought experiment, like, I'm not asking you to say the age, but have you thought about how old you will be in 2031? Eight
Uh
years from now.
so I'll probably be like at least 30, 31, or 32. It's easy for me to figure it out because I was born in 99. So, I have a little bit easy math. It's either +1 or -1.
That's very true. Wrapping my head around that number of how old I'll be in 8 years is more depressing than it is anything else. Hopefully, I'll still have hair and it won't be all gray if it is there. So, the other thing I think to note here too is Disney has a pretty darn good track history with big budget movies, with Marvel especially. So the fact that they're not forcing the creators to adhere to an arbitrarily determined release date set way too soon for what it should be for producing a good movie, a la what happened with Warner Brothers and the DCEU. Well, we've got a release date, and it's 9 months from now. Disney's actually kind of going, yeah, we want to make a good movie, and we're not afraid of pushing the release date back from 2 years to 3 years. I actually kind of like that the corporate greed in this case, is not overwhelming to like, we need the release date, we need the release date. Are you agreeing with that sentiment a little bit? Like, do you actually like Disney going, you know what? We'll make a better movie and release it a year later.
Yeah, I have to completely agree with you, as I do feel that Disney must have known this when they bought out 20th Century Fox, because I know that was one of their big titles that they promoted all over Disney Plus when it came out, because that was around the same time that it was officially they officially bought Fox, and it was all over Avatar. And I think that they knew that these movies were going to make an insane amount of money, and I think that their marketing strategy for this past film was exceptionally strong by, releasing the first film back in theaters, which also made really good money. And now it's back at the number one spot all time. And I think that they should just focus on quality, like you said, because this is like their biggest franchise at this point, besides Star Wars, Marvel, and all of that. Like, I think that they're going to take this a little bit more seriously because this is James Cameron's movie altogether. And I'm totally okay with this, to be honest with you, because I I think that this is a good marketing strategy considering how expensive these movies are. And I think Disney knows that James Cameron is not going to go at the budget that they give him.
James Cameron having two of the three biggest box office movies of all time has earned the right to say, I need another year. The jokes about the CGI rendering time, sure, but when James Cameron says, I want to do these movies, I want to do it right, I did two of the three biggest movies of all time, give me some time. You need till 2031 to produce another Avatar movie? Okay. If it's going to get a couple $1 billion, why the heck not? It's Disney's money. We're all just living in Disney's toy box. Of the titles that we were talking about a little bit here with Fantastic Four, Captain America 4, which of these movies of the upcoming Disney slate of the Marvel Phase 5 slate are you most excited for?
I'm gonna have to go with Fantastic Four. I've always been a big Fantastic Four fan when I was younger. I even had like a birthday party. I like dressed up as the Thing for the Rise of the Silver Surfer. I thought that movie was like one of the greatest things ever, and I watch it now and I'm like, yo, what was I thinking at like 9, 8 years old? But yeah, I'm actually really excited for that one. Just because I don't know who's being cast. Like there are all these rumors and people speculating, and they even had John Krasinski, who was a very strong fan prediction, show up as a variant in the Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange film. So I don't know what they're gonna do, and I'm really excited for it. Like I'm excited for the other ones, but they just gotta do Fantastic Four right because, like, look at the track record. Those movies are not good. I'm sorry to anyone who likes those.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of sort of like the first Fantastic Four movie. I wanted to like Fantastic Four 2 Silver Surfer, but I don't care about Silver Surfer all that much. And Fantastic. I mean, look, there's a mini industry, there's a cottage industry on YouTube just devoted to making fun of that movie, which is weird considering how many Oscar nominated or Oscar caliber actors are in Fantastic Four 2015. So the fact that we haven't gotten a classic film yet, a truly excellent film off of Marvel's first family, when these characters are very popular, I'm really nervous for this film. And yeah, I'm with you. I love John Krasinski. I love the idea of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt being Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Girl. I do wonder a little bit if they're a little bit past the prime age for the characters, because as the joke went in Deadpool 2, like they have to be young enough to carry a franchise for 10 or 11 years, and 10 years from now, John Krasinski's going to be 50-ish. So that's not old, but when you think about wanting to have actors be in an age range for the characters for a 10, 12-year period, it does seem like they'll probably go with the quote-unquote the young, sexy cast for Fantastic Four. So I'm a little worried with the casting, the fact that we haven't gotten the casting announcements yet, when it's 2 years away. But yeah, I'm in Marvel. I trust until I don't, and that has been tested recently. I mean, Phase 4 was not exactly Murderer's Row in terms of all-time classic Marvel movies. So fingers crossed. Hopefully, all these films are good, and the extra time they're buying will pay off.